we're pretty early in the campaign. That must mean that Walz is worried then, if he's
Well, I don't know.
taping you now?
I have no clue.
Okay.
Senator Parry,
Yes,
I guess I've sat here and listened, and I don't know if everybody knows me, but Senator Parry knows me.
Oh, yes.
And I just want to say I agree with, about everything that you've been talking about. I mean, to me, it's very scary what's happening to our country or at the governmental, federal level. And I don't know, hopefully, Congressman Walz can be defeated. It won't be easy, but I called his office when they had passed the cap and trade bill, and I didn't get him. I got a staffer, and the first thing I said what I thought, and he said, "Well, part of it isn't going into effect for 3 years." I said, "Well, so what?" I said, I don't know what I answered him. And then he said, "Well, Congressman Walz said that's the most beneficial bill that's ever been passed for southern Minnesota."
Really?
And what did he mean? But I mean, that's what his staffer said. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
And
Well,
but of course, our national debt to me is a very scary situation.
it is very scary.
But they don't seem to worry about it.
Yeah. Jim?
A couple of interactions I've had with Congressman Walz's staff. I can handle someone who disagrees philosophically with me, and then we can have a chat about it and discuss it. But when I call your office as a constituent to express to you that as your constituent, I would prefer that you vote against the cap and trade bill, I do not expect to get in a 15-minute argument with the staffer taking my phone call, who in the course of that phone call attempted to belittle me, tell me I didn't know what I was talking about. We had just a wonderful conversation. Those of you who know me know what a political junkie I am. I actually got the guy to admit when I asked him to tell me a government program that was efficient and worked well said Medicare. And my reply to that was, the program that's going broke in 15 years, that's the example that you want to use of government efficiency. Do you want to stay with that, or would you like to go to something else? But the bottom line is, at the end of the 15 minutes, I finally got so fed up that I said, look, let me explain something to you that obviously nobody's explained to you before. You and your boss work for me. I am calling you to tell my employee I don't want him voting for this.
Right.
That's all I want to do. You work for me. I don't work for you. And when you have a congressional staff, because I believe staff reflects leadership, when you have a staff that is that dismissive, that argumentative, and that demeaning to the people they work for, that bothers me even more than the multitude of policy differences that I have with the guy.
That's lack of leadership. And I think if anybody has ever called my office and listened to Elizabeth or Lucas and how they're always so helpful, that's because when I hired them, I said, my constituents, the people that sent me here, are more important than any lobbyist, more important than any other senator, more important than anybody else, as far as I'm concerned. They come first. You drop everything else. That's a lack of leadership. Now, when you're in Washington, I know you have staffers. Now, I don't know how many you have, but I can't believe that if you have employees underneath you, as a congressman, you wouldn't tell them how you wanted them to treat the people that sent you there. And so, to me, that just shows a lack of leadership on that part. I'd be sitting my staff down and I'd be having of course, he might not hear it. That might not get that high up. They might be shielding him from that. That's one thing I don't agree with. I want to hear from everybody, and I want to make sure I respond to everybody. whether they like me or not. They need to know that at least I'll listen, and I'll tell them if I agree or I don't agree. And that's the way it should be. But it's unfortunate that that had to happen, Jim. Yes, sir.
Do you have a strategy for digging into walls of strongholds like in Mankato and St. Peter, staff-wise, media-wise, social media-wise? Because I think if you can't and make some really solid inroads into those communities, it's going to be difficult for you to win.
Well, we do have on staff, we have some great volunteers that I think are social media gurus that are working right now. Everything from Twitter to Facebook to websites and that. And it keeps growing. Those that are coming forward, those that are signing on to the website and the Twitter account keeps continually growing. We understand that, we know that. But I think first and foremost, common sense plays into a lot of what happens. And I think people understand that. And your message is out there, and you ask them, with all the political stuff, set it aside. Is this what you would do? Is this how you would move forward? Is this how you would act? And if they can stand there in front of me and say, yes, that's exactly what I would do, then there's really no hope for them. I mean, they're set in their ways. But it's no different than talking to the folks. When I walk up to a door, when I ran for Senate, I'd walk up to a door that had Alex DeMarco's sign in front of it, and I'd knock on the door, and they'd tell me straight out, well, I don't think I'm voting for you because I'm with this party. And I said, no, that's fine. I just want to ask you a couple of questions. Are you okay with the direction the economy's going? Well, no. Are you okay with the amount of money and taxes being taken out of your paycheck? Well, no. Would you like to see that changed? Yeah. Then remember my name and vote for me, because that's my charge. That's what I'm going to do. And when you can talk to people that way and get that message out, and now whether it's through YouTube, on your website, through a Twitter account or whatever, short, let them know, and keep working on it, because they agree with that. It's just, again, I feel that the message is over and over and over again. That's how advertising works. I can talk to you all about radio advertising. You gotta hit one person 4 times with the same message before it first clicks. Then every message after that, it builds in. That's where fundraising comes in. That's where the dollars come in. To have the repetitive ads, common sense ads, to get to the people. And that's what we're working on.
Social issues are really kind of big, especially with some of the mandates that have come down. Money to spend after, the morning after pill and things like that, and then we also have this, what is this, Floofgate or whatever this thing is, what is their name?
Sandra Fluke.
Yeah, Fluke?
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to know your stance on the social issues, the life issues, the marriage issues, the mandates that are coming down. How do you personally feel about them, and then I want to know your opinion.
Yeah, I'm pro-life, always have been, always will be. I believe in our Constitution, and I will stand and battle for the Second Amendment right. It seems like everybody, even Hillary Clinton the other day, seems to want to take it away. I was co-sponsor on the Castle Doctrine that our governor just vetoed. And I don't know if everybody knows what the Castle Doctrine was, but, we should have the right, without fear, to use deadly force we feel that they're gonna harm us. If we're someplace legally and somebody comes after us, we should have the right to defend ourselves. And so that's how I felt about the castle doctrine. I believe in the sanctity of marriage. I believe marriage is between a man and one woman. Always have, always will. And so, you know, there are those social issues out there. And I don't want to sound like I'm dismissing some of them, because I'm really not. I know they're there. But the gravity of the situation that we have right now that has to be dealt with is the economy. It's the spending. In our energies, you know, we have to watch all this, and we have to guard all of this with as much energy as we have. At the same time, expend even more energy to get control, because I truly believe if we're not taking care of the people in our country, we cannot take care of the people around the world. If we cannot secure the borders of our country, we cannot secure the borders of other countries. We need to take care of us first and make sure we're healthy, make sure our economy is healthy. It's like, you know, they were doing a parody on